Welcome to the new Economics of Prosperity, offered by the Institute for Global Prosperity. I'm Angus Armstrong, and I'll be teaching this course this fall. Now, I'm well aware that new Economics of Prosperity is quite a tall claim. So let me begin by quoting George Bernard Shaw. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. And therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. In this course, we intend to be unreasonable. We'll be drawing on some of the deep insights of the great economic masters of the past, but incorporating new developments from some of the more recent schools of thought. In particular, evolutionary economics, the fundamental idea of differentiation, selection, and adaptation. Feminist economics, there's more to human beings than the simple conception of the greedy Homo economicus. And thirdly, complexity economics, the idea of emergence that comes from the interaction of individuals, where the aggregate properties are not the same as the sum of the parts and cannot be predicted just by studying the parts. We have to recognize that the economics of prosperity is particular to time and place, but there are some common themes. For example, if we go back to the old Stone Age, where our ancestors left Africa to sail across the seas to go to Asia, Australasia, and Europe, they were confronted by disease, extraordinary predators challenging their lives, as well as, of course, the risk of the journey. In the new Stone Age, much more recent, we learned animal husbandry, farming, planting crops, and our groups went from clans to villages. We reorganized ourselves. Here we started having the idea of states, and once we developed once we managed to domesticate horses, this allowed us to go to much wider boundaries and eventually led to the notion of the nation state. And then, of course, jumping through all of the ages, taking the Industrial Revolution, the last 200 years, we've actually increased output 100 times. But this is not without creating massive inequalities and, of course, environmental and biodiversity challenges, which, if left untreated, aim to offer a very serious risk to all prosperity going forward. Now, the commonality in each of these cases is that our ancestors faced enormous uncertainties. These are not risks, they're uncertainties. But somehow, being human beings, we have a capability of either adapting to our environment or also shaping our environment in order to overcome these challenges and uncertainties. And that's where the new economics of prosperity lies. We cannot exclude uncertainty from our analysis. To do so would not only lead to errors in prediction, but would also remove the fundamental questions of how, in fact, we do deal with fundamental uncertainty, which we do. We do this by interacting with each other. It is often said, perhaps lightheartedly, that goldfishes don't recognize they swim in water. Well, perhaps we as human beings don't recognize that we almost constantly interact. Even when we're asleep, we're interacting with our thoughts. And it is through these interactions that we create our solutions. And it is through these interactions that all value, all prosperity is in fact social. I hope to convince you of this through these classes, where we'll have exercises, examples, and computer simulations to try and show some of these properties and convince you that actually the society that we live in, is much more than the sum of the parts. In economic terms, it means that the macroeconomics that we choose is not just worked out by looking at individuals. And in fact, the macroeconomics, the society we choose, can influence our behavior of individuals. Thank you for listening to this introductory video. The course will be most suitable for those who have got a background in economics already. And I very much hope that you're willing to be unreasonable and come along to this course. Thank you.